Illustration 15, Accounting Standard 2, page number 537 from study material. State with reference to accounting standards how you will value the inventories in the following cases. Raw materials were purchased at 100 per kilo. Prices of raw materials are on the decline. The finished goods in which the raw materials is incorporated is expected to be sold at below cost. 10,000 kgs of raw materials is on stock at the year end. Replacement cost is 80 rupees. Okay, so now this is the part 1. Part 2 question is different. First we'll solve the part 1 and then we'll go to the part 2 question because both are different. So raw materials were purchased at 100 per kilo. Okay, prices of raw materials are on decline. The finished goods in which the raw materials is incorporated is expected to be sold at below cost. Finished goods itself is sold at below the cost. Whatever they are incurring cost, below that it will be sold. 10,000 kgs of raw materials is on stock at the year end. Replacement cost is 80 per kg. Okay. So if you remember in the accounting standard, we have always read that inventory should be valued at cost or net realizable value, whichever is lower. So when they are saying the finished goods cost and NRV will be the lesser than the cost they are saying, and it will be lesser than the cost of whatever the raw materials they are incorporating in it. So if you remember in the standard we had read one, yes, estimation of net realizable value. It said if finished goods in which raw materials and supplies used is sold at cost or above cost, then the estimated realizable value of raw materials and supplies is considered more than the cost. Therefore, inventories of raw materials will be valued at cost. Okay, so they are saying if the finished goods is sold at cost or above, then it's simple. Raw materials is sold at cost, it is assumed to be. Okay, but what it is saying, if finished product is in which raw materials and supplies used is sold below cost, then the estimated realizable value of raw materials or supplies is equal to the replacement price of raw materials or supplies, and this raw material will be valued at replacement price. So if whenever the finished goods are sold below cost, that time the raw materials which are incorporated in this finished product, that will be valued at replacement price. Okay, this is being specified in the accounting standard itself, so that we will apply here. So as this question also says that the finished goods will be sold at lesser than the cost, so we have to value this raw material at replacement price. So we have to quote that. This is been quoted in para 24 of AS2. So we have to quote that in the solution and say raw materials and other supplies held for use in the production of inventories are not written down below cost if the finished product in which they will be incorporated are expected to be sold at or above cost, which we read right now. However, when there has been a decline in the price of materials and it is estimated that the cost of the finished good will exceed net realizable value, the materials are written down to NRV as net realizable value. So here we will value the raw material at 80 rupees, which is the replacement price, right? So we have to quote this from the standard in the solution, and then we have to write the calculation. In this case, cost of raw material was 100 per kg, but finished goods is expected to be sold at lesser than the cost price. So we are valuing this 10,000 kgs of raw materials at replacement price, which is 80 per kg. So the value of the raw materials in the inventory will be valued at 8 lakhs. Okay, part 2. In a production process, normal waste is 5% of input. 5,000 metric ton of input were put in process, resulting in a wastage of 300 metric ton. Cost per metric ton of input is rupees 1000. The entire quantity of waste is on stock at the year end. Okay, they have given this, and then they have said per kg of finished goods consisted of material cost, direct labor, direct variable production overhead they have given, and fixed production charges for the year on normal capacity for 1 lakh kg is 10 lakhs. So many details they have given. For the year they have given normal capacity, which is 1 lakh kgs, the fixed production charges is 10 lakhs. 2000 kgs of finished goods are on the stock at year end. So we have to value this finished stock, okay, in the third. Third. So first we will complete the second one. So second is what? In a production process, normal waste is 5% of input. 5000 metric ton of input were put in process, resulting in a wastage of 300 metric ton. Cost per metric ton of input is 1000. The entire quantity of waste is on stock at the year end. So what it is? First we have to understand that what does it makes a difference of normal wastage and abnormal wastage and what it is. So here there is an input of 5000 metric ton. Means assume we are introduce a raw material of 5000 metric ton for production purpose. Okay, and they are expecting, the estimation is 5% of input will be normal wastage. So if you do 5% of 5000, so it will be coming up to 250 rupees, 250 metric tons. Okay, 250 metric tons. But what has actually the wastage is 300 metric tons. So the actual wastage has turned out to be more than the estimation. So estimation is our normal loss, and the difference, what is the difference? 50 is an abnormal loss. Okay, so what it happens, if it is a normal loss, it is being borne by the good units and we charge it to the customer. But if it is an abnormal loss, it has to be borne by the business or the company itself. So it will be charged to the P&L account of the company. So abnormal loss impact is that it will be charged to the P&L account of company, but normal loss will be borne by the good units, which will be passed to the customer, okay, to the units, good units. So what will be the solution? Like we have to first quote as para 13 AS2, in determining the cost of inventories, it is appropriate to exclude abnormal amount of wasted materials, labor or other production expenses in the period in which they are incurred. Why they are excluding? Because it will be borne by the company. It will be not passed on to the customers, so it will be not charged to the cost of the inventories, or to the inventory value we will not pass it on. So we have to exclude the abnormal loss amount. So what is the abnormal loss? Abnormal loss we found out to be 50 metric ton. So we have to value it. How we will value? They have said that 5000 units, 5000 metric tons, the cost of it was 1000 per metric ton, right? So can I say 5000, I'll write here, when they bought 5000 metric ton, they incurred 1000 units, 1000 rupees, okay, per metric ton. So this was the input. Okay, the wastage was around 250 metric ton, and abnormal wastage is 50 metric ton. So we have to value here the 50. So 50 we will value at 1000, which is the price, which will be the your whatever. This abnormal loss is from the input units. So whatever the input price was, that itself we will charge to the abnormal. So abnormal also will be valued at 1000 per metric ton. So 1000 into 50, 50,000, which will be charged against P&L account of the company. You have to remember, because this will be borne by the company. So it will be charged in the P&L account of the company. Okay, and remaining, which will be 5000 minus 250, because from the 5000 250, this 5000 in this 250 gone out, and it totally 300 went out, so it is 4700 if you see. So 4700 are the good units, and the price of it will be 4700 into 1000, because this 250's also value will be transferred to it. So if you see, the table will look like this. If 5000 rupees, so it will become 5003. This is the value of input, this is metric ton, and this is the rupees, and this is the value. If from this normal loss went out of 250, but no value we will be doing for it, and abnormal loss of 50 will go off at 1000 rupees, which is up to 50,000. We will reduce it, so this will become 4700, and the value will become 305. It will become it will come up to 49 lakhs 50,000. Okay, this will be the value of our inventory at the end, because good units price will be borne, abnormal loss price will be borne by the good units. Okay, next, third part. Now here the finished goods per kg price, they have given the list: material cost, direct labor, direct variable production overhead, they have given per kg price, they have given us, and they have given fixed production charges for the year on normal capacity for of 1 lakh kg is 10 lakhs. Okay, we have to value 2000 kgs of finished goods which are at the year end. So we have to find out the value of 2000 kgs of finished goods which are lying at the year end. So how we will do? We have to go back to the standard, and there they have said something about fixed overheads and variable overheads. So we'll read that once. So here, cost of conversion. In this they have said fixed production overhead means indirect cost of production that remains relatively constant regardless of volume of production. So it remains relatively constant regardless of volume of production. Allocation of fixed production overhead is done on normal capacity. Understand this? And variable production overhead means indirect cost of production that varies. It fixed cost remains relatively constant, but variable cost varies directly or nearly directly with the volume of production. So allocation of variable cost production overheads is done on the actual production. So if you see, fixed production overhead is done on the normal capacity, and variable production overhead is done on the actual production. Okay, so we'll go back to the question. Okay, and in that they have said direct variable production overhead, it should be done on actual production basis. So this per unit is given, so we can directly multiply with the units lying in the closing inventory. Okay, fixed production overheads will be done on the normal capacity basis. Means what? 10 lakhs is been incurred for 1 lakh kgs. So we have to find the per unit. So 10 lakhs divided by 1 lakh units, if you do, you will get 10 per kg fixed production overheads. Okay, so if we add all this, whatever the cost, like direct material per kg, labor per kg, variable per kg, right, and fixed production overhead per kg, then we'll get cost per kg is 140, and that we will multiply with our units of inventory, and we will get the value of closing stock of finished goods. So here we have to find the per unit on the basis of normal capacity and not on the actual production one. Okay, this we have to remember for fixed production overhead. Okay.